And now, from the CFTK TV studios, this is Northwest Connections with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome to Northwest Connections. I'm your host, Robert Pictou. Our show today comes to you from the traditional and unceded territory of the Tsimshian people. Indigenous women make up 16% of all female homicide victims and 11% of missing women. Yet, Indigenous people make up only 4.3% of the population in Canada. Tonight on Northwest Connections, we open our archives to 1995, highlighting Ramona Wilson.
This is something Ramona Wilson's family and friends have done a lot of during the last 7 months. And if they're not making posters, they're hanging them up all over Smithers, Morristown, and anywhere else they think she might be. Because it was 7 months ago that Ramona left this house and walked down the street to visit a friend. She hasn't been seen since. And here's where she was headed. It's about a 25-minute walk.
Ramona's mom had said that she left about 9:30 approximately, somewhere around there. And it usually takes her probably about 25 minutes to get here. And so my mom figured she probably would have been home, but there was no phone calls or anything, and then for the rest of the night there was nobody home, and so we don't really know for sure.
The day that we've, figured out that Ramona was missing, Brenda phoned me and said, look, Dad, Ramona didn't come home and we don't know where she is. And I just got this, incredible sinking feeling that, oh my goodness, what's happened to her? And, that whole week we scrambled around and she didn't come home. We just kept thinking she's going to show up, she's going to come home, she's going to, she's just going to, show up, and she didn't. And I'll never forget the frustrated feeling I felt when, I was thinking, why isn't this on the radio? Where's the TV cameras? We've got a missing girl in Smithers and there's no big deal about it, and it was really frustrating, and I felt like I was spinning my wheels a lot, and it never really got off the ground, sort of the media hype that has happened in other communities when little, young women or boys or whoever have gone missing.
I was thinking, maybe she stayed with someone else just by chance. I was thinking maybe Jolene or something like that, just out of the clear, maybe she just decided to do something else. And then so I didn't really think anything. I was kind of worried, but I didn't, I was thinking, tomorrow is when I'm going to be worried, because I'll just be really worried tomorrow. And the next day she didn't go to school. That first week I was so worried, and all my friends, which had been her friends too, all of our acquaintances and everything, we were best friends, but we had lots of acquaintances. They really spent a lot of time with me that week. I didn't really go to school much. I was at the school, but I just couldn't go, and it was just really hard. So, but everybody just kept telling me maybe she just took off for a while, maybe she went on a holiday or something. And I was like, no, Ramona would tell me she'd want me to go.
And it wasn't just Ramona's best friend who knows she hadn't just taken off.
One thing is that Ramona had quite a few personal effects, personal belongings that she treasured. Her, her makeup, her favorite clothes, her curling iron and her hair dryer she never leaves without, and these things, and also her bank account book and everything like this that she needs to get away. If she wanted to get away, she would have told a friend, or she would have told somebody. And this is why I know she just didn't take off on her free will.
Ramona wouldn't do that. She's too much of a caring person. She was very close to a lot of people, and every time Ramona did go somewhere, she always made sure that someone knew where she was. And she was really responsible, and I can't imagine her actually going somewhere and not calling any of us just to tell us that she's okay.
Even though family and friends knew Ramona wouldn't leave without some word, the trouble now was convincing everyone else of that.
Northwest Connections will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK TV studios, this is Northwest Connections with your host, Robert Pictou.
Thank you for staying with us. By assisting to quickly locate missing Indigenous women, girls, and gender-diverse persons, an emergency alert system, such as the Red Dress Alert, has the potential to prevent gender-based violence and homicide from occurring or escalating, according to a study released by the government last year. The study further suggests it also can lead to earlier interventions and responses that rally supports around the individual at risk and their family, as well as increased public safety. Let us return to the archives with Deanna Ford.
No, I remember phoning the radio station, and I think it was on Thursday or Friday, and saying, "Why isn't this on the radio? You know, what's going on? Like, where's the coverage here?" And they were just saying, "Well, you know, it's not reported. You know, it's like it isn't a problem." And I'm going, "Yes, it is." And then we had the little, it was on community club notes and messages or whatever, and it was Matilda saying, "Ramona, please come home." And you know, that's all it rated, was like club notes and messages on BVLD. Like, you know, it should have been on nationwide TV that this girl was missing, and it never came about.
Ross Davidson is one of the officers who was involved in the case when Ramona went missing last June. Ramona went missing on a Saturday, and the information about her disappearance was released to the media the following Friday. Can you tell me why the delay in getting such crucial information out?
Well, I guess for the first week, it was our position, based on input from Ramona's mother and friends, that she wasn't really missing. We received the report from her mother of the official missing person report on the 13th of June. And we were advised that she had been missing since the 10th of June, 3 days prior. Our officer who received this file on the 13th of June immediately started to investigate it as a missing person and followed our standard RCMP policy by entering Ramona on the Canadian Police Information Computers System called CPIC. At any rate, Ramona was entered Canada-wide as missing on the 13th of June, the day we received the report from her mother. Our investigators began interviewing the mother and friends of Ramona, and on the 14th were advised that the mother was told that Ramona was out in the Hazelton area.
His spot said, "Yeah, contract order is got."
Having difficulty and wanted, quote, time out from her life's problems. And we were receiving other input from her friends that we spoke to on the 13th, 14th, and 15th, that she had been seen here or there, and there was a lot of hearsay involved. There was nothing given to us to indicate that she was, quote, missing. Everything seemed to lead to the fact that she was still in the north area and possibly looking for some time out. It was evident from early on in the investigation that this was not out of character for Ramona not to come home. And notwithstanding that, as I say, we did treat her as a missing person, not just a runaway. And the investigation became full-blown within a matter of, without looking in the file, within 7 days of Ramona's mother visiting our office and making the official complaint. It was necessary, however, to disprove these sightings and these stories of her sitting at so-and-so's house in Hazelton or whatever on a timeout theory. But that had to be done before any panic switch is going to get hit.
She knows that she was her mom's like little darling. She knows that. But it was really hard with the media and the cops, like treating it as a runaway. Like, you know, you see on TV, if there's a girl from Vancouver that goes missing, like right 24 hours later, it's worldwide on the TV, and I didn't even see it on any TV besides the local TV, and you know, that really hurt when it didn't seem like it was anything big, and they just treated it like it was just some girl that took off on a party because it was my best friend. And not only would I feel that way about my best friend, I'd feel that way about anybody else.
You just didn't see anything on the news. You didn't hear people looking for her. It was like all our friends and everybody close to her, we were working our butts off trying to make sure that everything was done. We were doing our hardest trying to get posters up and make sure everybody knew who she was and what she looked like and when the last time they saw her.
I think that it was just treated as it's just another, unhappy kid run away. She's probably just down in downtown Vancouver on the streets or whatever. And I knew it wasn't the case because of the way Ramona really was, and her community activities. Like there was no way she was down on the streets of Vancouver.
I think there could be more done because with Mindy Tran, when she went missing, there was like tons of colorful posters all over the place, and they were out instantly as soon as she went missing, and it took like a week before anything was done for her, before all these flyers went out and before anything else. It makes me wonder, like, are they going to treat this like, oh, she's only Native and she's not, it doesn't really matter? If she was non-Native, would it make a difference?
Northwest Connections will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK TV studios, this is Northwest Connections with your host, Robert Pictou. Northwest Connections will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK TV studios, this is Northwest Connections with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome back to Northwest Connections. On May 2, 2023, the House of Commons passed a motion which called on the federal government to declare the continued loss of Indigenous women, girls, Two-Spirit, and gender-diverse people a Canada-wide emergency, and to provide immediate and substantial investments, including a red dress alert system to help alert the public when an Indigenous woman, girl, Two-Spirit, or gender-diverse person goes missing. Let us return to the archives with Deanna Ford.
And, it just took so long to get any sort of stuff on the radio or TV about Ramona. It was really heartbreaking.
The family and friends of Ramona mentioned the quick action taken with Mindy Tran from Kelowna and more recently with Melanie Carpenter. Is there any reason why these cases would get such attention when a case like Ramona's might get considerably less?
This is a very good question. There's one humongous difference between the cases you've just cited. And I guess probably the people that can best answer this is the media. Why have they given so much attention to the other two cases and not to Ramona's? Well, possibly one reason is that both the other girls are known to have been abducted. Nobody knows what happened to Ramona. There was never evidence that she was abducted. Everything led to that she was either run away and then missing. There was nothing to indicate abduction. In the cases you've just cited, very high-profile stuff. One girl is hauled out of a playground, the other one out of her place of employment. Consequently, it's a media feeding frenzy, right?
Certainly, in terms of police, that we have a standard procedures that are followed and steps that we follow and procedures that are laid out for us that we follow in each and every case. Doesn't matter the nationality or ethnic origin to anyone, it's a standard procedure that we follow. In this particular case, the community has been being cooperative to the utmost all the way along in our investigation, and I cannot see any sign of the lack of cooperation by the community in this particular investigation.
There was local coverage on the radio, TV, and in the newspaper, but this is all the coverage she got in a province-wide newspaper, buried deep in the first section.
I do think like people think this kind of stuff only happens in the city and stuff like that. Like I think, and there was quite a bit of significance about how they're both Native girls and things like that, and I thought that maybe like a whole lot could have been done. Like they didn't, for about the first week I didn't even see a cop. I wasn't even sure if they cared. So that's, that really hurts when you kind of think that they don't really care. And of course they care, but, and like just things like that. We had to make our own missing person posters. Like all the ones around town are our only posters.
Well, I think it's really unfortunate that we couldn't have got a little bit more support from the community to raise, $10,000. $1,000 is, okay, but we need a big chunk of money to get some real interest going.
So Matilda took it upon herself, along with her family and Ramona's friends, to generate public interest and raise money for a reward fund. So far it stands at $1,500.
And I've raised another $600 on the raffle, and then that's about it right now. We got a lot of support from doing a raffle with items that my mother and I made, native crafts that we made, and we raffled them off. That's one thing that I'd like to stress is that our community of Smithers is a very friendly community, and I know people have seen some of the news media on Ramona, and what we're trying to do right now is to raise some more money for Ramona, the reward money. It's pretty slow at the moment, but we're in the near future we're going to be holding a benefit dance, but then we'd have to have the money to hire a band, and we're going to do another raffle again.
I think that more people should pitch in and help out and stuff. Maybe even if you have an idea or something to go look, like it doesn't have to be all funds. People can just get up and go and look. But I think that if more people did help out, maybe we could solve this, find out where she is.
I can't believe people aren't out there trying to help, I sometimes just feel like if it was their kid, then I would see more people would be there for her, and more people would help the family and stuff. And I don't know, I think that the people that didn't know her, they'd help if they knew who she was. They just got to even talk to her for like 5 minutes, they'd realize what a beautiful person she was.
A lot of the support came from our friends, people we knew. It wasn't like these big businesses coming in just buying tickets from us and stuff like that. We've really been struggling to try to get more money, more reward money. I'm sorry to say, but this is the truth, that they say money talks, and in one case or another, there has been quite a few, rewards that are pretty high, from 25,000 and on, and it has proven it has proven quite a few good results.
I think the size of the reward is basically the efforts of the community as well as the family to raise a reward, and certainly that if a reward's going to be successful, the larger the reward, the more chance of that reward being successful.
She is my baby sister, and I just need to know where she is. It's not fair that someone has to take her away and keep her from us. She really meant a lot to our family, and I just hope somebody has the heart to tell us where she is.
Northwest Connections will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK TV studios, this is Northwest Connections with your host, Robert Pictou.
Despite the popular belief playing out on TV, there is no law requiring a family to wait 24 hours before filing a missing persons report for a minor or adult. The widely held belief isn't just false, it's damaging to the missing persons investigations, which require swift action to attempt to locate the individual and determine if they are endangered. In this final segment of Northwest Connections, we return to the archives with Melinda Wilson.
And she always had a lending hand for someone, and she was very active in Smithers. She was working at Smitty's restaurant, and she was also a peer counselor at the Smithers Community Service, and then also she was she played softball.
Think about Ramona every day. Just wonder where she is, and if she is still around, hope that she's okay, that she's still thinking about us. And I wish that she'd come home and or at least give us a call, or if somebody knows where she is.
Ramona, was such a wonderful girl. She had so much going for her. She was doing well in school. She had lots of good friends. She volunteered at the Friendship Center. She was a peer counselor at school, and the girl is just terribly missed, and she's just, we need to find her, and we need to get some real big community support out there to figure out what happened to her and where the heck she is right now.
She was, a very beautiful person, and I hope that, she'll come back and everything will be okay, and I can still pass her on the street and smile at her, and,
It was a hit right from the start, and we always hung around, everybody always seen us together. It was like if I wasn't with her, they'd ask where I was, and if she wasn't with me, they'd ask where she was.
She was a really good friend. She was close. We've been friends for about 6 years. Ramona was a really good person. She was very, very open and honest. She was there for everybody. She was a peer counselor in our group. She was doing really good. We were really impressed with her. She had come to group at first and really shook up and stuff, and she's dealt with a lot, and she's come a long ways.
And what's hardest for them is just not knowing.
For me, I would, in my heart, I think she is still alive, and maybe somebody has her, they're keeping her against her will. I'm not sure, but that's what I keep on feeling, and I've dreamt about it so many times, and I've tried to get to her, but I can't, and I'm just thinking, in some one way or another, if this person sees me in any place, please just phone us and let us know, because that's all we want to know, that she's okay.
We're feeling sad about it. We talk about where she could be, but it feels like a piece is missing from all of us.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Northwest Connections. The greatest distance in the existence of man is not from here to there, but the connection from his mind and heart. If we can conquer that distance, we can soar like an eagle and realize our immensity within. I'm Robert Pictou.